my bike. It got stolen while he had it, so I'm taking him to kids' court. If his lock wasn't defective, this wouldn't have happened. It wasn't my fault.
Kids' Court is back in session. Right now, we've got the case of the borrowed bicycle. Let's meet the kids who are playing our plaintiff and our defendant. Your name is?
Paul.
Paul. That's my name, too. Give it back. Just kidding. Who are you playing, Paul?
Oscar, the owner.
Oscar, the owner of the bicycle. Your name is?
David.
David. David, who are you playing?
Benny, the borrower.
Benny, the bicycle borrower. Okay. Oscar, give us your side of the story.
Well, I lent Benny my bike, and the next day, all he gave me back was the lock. He told me it got stolen.
The whole bike, gone, kaput. Benny, what's your excuse here? What happened?
Well, I had to go to work, and I brought the bike to work, and I was fiddling around with the lock, but the lock just wouldn't work. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't bring the bike into the store because I would get fired, and I didn't want to get fired, so I made the lock look like it was locked and just left it there. I went to work.
Ah, so you knew the lock was broken when you went in?
Yeah.
But you somehow stuck it together?
Yeah.
You guess you figured nobody would notice?
Mm-hmm.
And you think he owes you a new bike, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time to take it to the jury. Does Benny owe Oscar a new bike? What do you say? Over here. Stand up so we can see you. There you go.
Well, I think that Benny doesn't owe Oscar a new bike because it was his fault that the lock didn't work, and he just doesn't have to owe a new bike.
Well, isn't someone responsible for what they borrow? When you borrow something, isn't it your job to take care of it, or if something happens, replace it?
Because Oscar gave Benny the bike to borrow, and Benny was responsible for the bike, and if the bike lock didn't work, he should have bought it back. Now he has to pay.
He should have brought it back. What do you think? Stand up.
Or maybe he can work like he goes to work, and then he can pay for the bike.
So he should buy him a new bike?
Yes.
Well, Benny could have asked his boss could he bring the bike in before he even put the lock on.
Why not, Benny? You want to defend yourself there?
Yeah, I didn't want to get fired, and I knew I wasn't allowed to bring the bike inside. And it wasn't my fault. He gave me the lock, and the lock didn't work. Well, I disagree on that, because I know one thing, the lock did work. If you probably didn't jiggle it enough. If you really try to get it on, it will work.
What is it? Can we see this lock? Can we see? You brought it with you? Yeah. So here's the lock. And you think you can make this work?
Yep, I think it can make it work.
Yeah?
Yep.
Well, go to town.
Okay.
You got to fiddle with it a lot, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's keep asking our jury some questions. Go ahead. Anybody got something to say? Stand up tall.
What's his name again? The borrower?
Benny the borrower?
Yeah. I don't think it was his fault because the owner of the bike should have known that the lock didn't work that way. Should have gave him an idea.
Do you think it was Oscar's responsibility to show Benny how to work the lock if it's a little tough to figure out?
Well, if you take the responsibility of loaning something, then you should take the responsibility of keeping it in the condition that it was in.
So it's Oscar's fault?
Yeah.
What do you think? Anybody agree or disagree?
Probably he didn't know that the lock didn't work, so he had responsible of the bike.
Oscar or Benny?
Oscar.
The owner. It's his fault for not giving him a good lock?
Probably he didn't know that the lock didn't work.
Or maybe he didn't know. Oscar, you knew that you had to fiddle around with the lock, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I think Oscar should have told him if he knew that. He just should have told him then that he would have to fiddle with it a lot.
So it's Oscar's responsibility once again.
Definitely.
What do you think about Benny's job? Benny was late for his job. He had to get to work. He had to make a decision there. He knew the lock didn't work. You said you tried to make it look like it was locked and did the best you could. Does that matter? Does that take some responsibility off of Benny, that he had to do something very important, had to do whatever he needed to make it happen? Stand up.
I think that Benny, if the lock didn't work, he should have brought it back to the house.
Even if he would have been late?
Yeah.
And it's his tough luck if he got in trouble at work?
Yeah.
What do you think? Stand up.
I think it was Benny's fault. He should have gone in and told his boss that he had to go bring the lock back because it was his responsibility to make sure that it stayed safe and everything because he was borrowing it.
So you think basically that he borrowed a bike, and no matter what he has to do, he's got to take care of it?
Yeah.
So if he got in trouble with his boss, that's his problem?
Yeah.
But he shouldn't sacrifice his friend's bike first?
Yeah.
Anybody agree with that? Pretty good logic. Anybody disagree with that?
Yes,
Stand up.
it was
Stand up so we can see you.
it was Oscar's bike, but it was really Benny's responsibility to take care of it.
Oscar, any luck?
Not yet, but I
Okay.
know it will come along.
All right, well, keep trying.
This is a fact. I can give my word on this.
All right, keep trying. We're giving you a shot at it. Who should pay for the new bike? That's the question. We're going to lock up the case of the borrowed bike right after this.
Here's the headline. Fingers sucking good. Now you have more in common with kids in China. For the first time, they can buy American fast food, like Kentucky Fried Chicken, where the recipe's the same, but there's a bit of trouble in translating the slogans. Finger looking good, for example, comes out as so good you suck your fingers. And what's mashed potatoes? Potato cement. Yum.
Well, Oscar thinks he's owed a new bike, but Benny doesn't think he should have to pay. Oscar got the lock closed. It took you long enough. All right. We're going to give Oscar and Benny a last chance to make their cases here. Oscar, you go first. Give your closing argument. You got 15 seconds. When you hear the gavel sound, that means your time is up. Convince a jury hearing at home that you're right. Go.
Well, I tell you one thing. I'm never going to lend him anything again because he should have been responsible enough and either brought it into work and explained it to his boss or explained to his boss what happened and just been late for work.
Okay. Good job. All right. Benny, your turn. 15 seconds. Go.
I did the best I could to keep the bike there. I tried to lock it, but the lock just wouldn't work. I did all I could. I asked my boss if I could leave it, bring it in, but he said no. I wasn't allowed. I didn't want to get fired, so it wasn't my fault.
Okay. You've heard the arguments. You've heard the discussion. Now it's time to welcome back the Honorable Judge O'Meter. Now remember, yell as loudly as you can for your side. That's the only way he responds. If you think Benny is responsible for losing the bike, then vote guilty now. If you think Benny is not responsible, let's hear it for not guilty now. I think you got some people here who lost some things they borrowed. Unfortunately, not enough. I'm afraid you've been found guilty by the kids' court jury. Congratulations, you won the case. You both did a terrific job. Benny, you're just going to have to buy a new bike for Oscar.
Well, I don't have the money to